Hello friends, today we will discuss about the dural folds. The connective tissue coverings of the brain and spinal cord are called as the meninges, and these are named from outside to inside as dura mater, arachnoid mater and pia mater. The mater here means mother. These three coverings, they cover the brain like the mother, and arachnoid and pia mater together they are called as leptomeninges. When you see the dura mater, it is tough, durable, whereas arachnoid mater is spread like the spider web. Arachna means spider, whereas pia mater is transparent and vascular and is completely covering the contour of the brain, that is cerebrum, cerebellum and brainstem and part of the spinal cord, and it is closely adherent to its surface. So when you take out the skull bones, that is cranial vault, and see the inside of the cranial cavity containing the brain, CSF and blood, whereas brain is covered by these three layers. You can see there the dura mater is having two layers, outer endosteal and inner meningeal, which are completely tethered together, but at some places they are separated to enclose the dural venous sinuses, and in some places the inner meningeal layer forms the folds called as dural folds. And you can see here dura mater is an opaque, thick, dense, tough, non-elastic fibrous membrane composed of collagen fibers, and by dural folds it divides the cranial cavity incompletely into different compartments and accommodates dural venous sinuses wherever it separates into two layers. So practically it has two layers but always attached to each other, but at some places they will separate and occupy the dural venous sinuses. You can see the outer endosteal layer which covers the inner periosteum of the skull bone and inner meningeal layer. Both are tethered or adherent to each other, except at some places they contain dural venous sinuses. You can see there meningeal layer is adherent to the endosteal layer in most of the areas, but at certain sites meningeal layer is projected inwards to form four folds or processes. You can see there, and these four folds are falx cerebri, falx cerebelli, tentorium cerebelli and diaphragma celli. So the spaces along the lines of separation between the endosteal and meningeal enclose the dural venous sinus, and you can see there in a sagittal section of the cranial cavity, you can see there that is falx cerebri. It incompletely divides the cerebrum into two cerebral hemispheres, whereas falx cerebelli it incompletely divides the cerebellum into two cerebellar hemispheres. Tentorium cerebelli, it is horizontal, you can see it separates the cerebrum from cerebelli, and diaphragma celli, it covers the roof of this pituitary fossa. So tentorium cerebelli divides the cranial cavity into supratemporal and infratemporal parts, whereas falx cerebri divides the cerebrum. It, remember, incompletely divides the cerebrum into right and left cerebral hemispheres, whereas falx cerebelli, again median, it also separates the two cerebellar hemispheres incompletely. You can see here the falx cerebri and falx cerebelli are median, sagittal in position, whereas tentorium cerebelli is horizontal. So these are dura folds. Then arachnoid mater is there beneath dura, it is separated from it by the subdural space and it contains cerebral veins, whereas arachnoid mater is separated from the pia by the subarachnoid space containing the CSF and arteries of the brain. That's why in case of head injuries, subdural hemorrhage is due to rupture of veins, subarachnoid hemorrhage is due to rupture of arteries. So you can see there, you will see like a sickle shape there in case of subdural hemorrhage, whereas in case of subarachnoid hemorrhage you will see a circular image there on CT scan. You can see now, you can see like that. So that is there. So these venous sinuses called as dural venous sinuses, they lie between the two layers of dura mater. That's why they are called as dural venous sinuses. Remember, the two layers of the dura mater are always attached to each other, but are separated at some parts to enclose venous sinuses. You can see there, once you see the skull with the brain here, this is the anterior aspect, and once you remove the cranial part or cranial vault of the skull, you will see the brain. You can see here brain with the eyes. Eyes are the extensions of the brain developmentally, and even they are covered by these 3 layers of meninges. You can see here. You can see here the entire brain is covered by 3 coverings. Brain means cerebrum, cerebellum, brainstem, and it continues, which continues as the spinal cord. These all are covered by these 3 layers. Don't think brain means only cerebrum. So here you can see from above, that is dura mater. If you isolate that, you can see here dura mater is completely covering the brain. It is covering the brain, that is cerebrum. Here you can see cerebellum and part of the brainstem in the lower part, posterior inferior part of the cerebrum. You will see cerebellum and brainstem. You can see it is covering the sulci and gyri of the cerebrum. Here it is bridging the sulci, and you can see in the midline you will see the dural folds. When you remove the dura mater, you will see arachnoid matter. Arachna means spider. You have already seen it is spread like a spider web. That's why it is called as arachnoid matter. Even it covers the entire brain, bridging the sulci, bridging the gyri, covering the sulci of the cerebrum. And when you remove the arachnoid matter, you are seeing the pia mater, the thinnest transparent layer you can make out here. It is intimately attached to the contours of the cerebrum, cerebellum and brainstem. It completely dips into the sulci, then covers the gyri, unlike arachna and dura mater, which bridge the gyri covering the sulci. You can see there. So you cannot separate the pia mater from the cerebral surface or cerebellar surface or surface of brainstem. It is intimately attached to the different parts of the brain. Okay, and when you see the dural folds here, these are the dural folds you can make out. Yes, these are dural folds. The green highlighted part, what you are seeing is falx cerebri, which separates the 2 cerebral hemispheres. Remember, incompletely. It occupies the fissure between the 2 cerebral hemispheres called as median longitudinal fissure, and both cerebral hemispheres are connected by corpus callosum. And in that gap, this fold is there, sickle shaped fold. Falx means sickle. You can see here. The left side is anterior end, the right side is the posterior end. The posterior part is attached to the superior surface of tentorium cerebelli. So this falx cerebri occupies the fissure between 2 cerebral hemispheres. Anterior end is attached to the crista galli of the anterior canal fossa. Then the upper margin lies along the sagittal plane, attached to the frontal, parietal and occipital parts, and posteriorly it ends at the internal occipital protuberance. I request you to go through the osteology of cranial cavity or entry of cranium before you understand this. And here you can see the tentorium cerebelli. Tentorium cerebelli separates the cerebrum from cerebellum. So it divides the cranial cavity into supratentorial part consisting of cerebral hemispheres and infratentorial part consisting of the cerebellum and part of pons and medulla, part of the brainstem. You can see here. So the posterior end of the increasingly becoming wider falx cerebri, you can see here, the tentorium cerebelli give as attachment to the increasingly wider falx cerebri on its upper surface, and on its inferior surface it gives attachment to the median, a thin or you can say smaller fold, that is falx cerebelli. Falx means sickle again. It also divides the cerebellar hemispheres incompletely. It lodges the vermis there. You can see here right and left cerebellar hemispheres. What you can notice here, right and left cerebellar hemispheres that you see there, it occupies the separation, that is vermis or the fissure, cerebellar fissure, you can see. So these are the 3 folds what you see here. The 4th dural fold is diaphragma celli. It covers the pituitary fossa and covers the pituitary gland. If you take out this left cerebral hemisphere here, you can make out this is the left lateral view of the dural folds. You can see how these folds are there, and why these folds are there, because they compartmentalize the cranial cavity and also prevent the rotatory displacements while during the movements of the head and neck. They prevent the rotatory displacements of different parts of the brain, so they are protective, and they divide the cranial cavity into compartments. You can say right and left cerebral compartments, but you can see here, and also supratentorial and infratentorial. They are incomplete divisions, as you see here posteriorly, and all these three folds meet at the internal occipital protuberance. Like you have external occipital protuberance, same point inside of the skull you will see internal occipital protuberance. There you will see all these folds meeting, and here there will be confluence of dural venous sinuses, as the dura mater, wherever it separates, contains the dural venous sinuses. You can see this is how the dura mater covers dura, then arachna, then pia. Remember, dura mater is a tough, non-elastic, dense, opaque, thick, collagenous membrane. Arachna is spread like spider web, and pia mater is intimately attached and has two layers, epipia and glial pia. You can see here the dura mater is, which layer of dura mater is forming these folds? Meningeal layer. Outer endosteal layer is attached to the skull like complete covering, whereas meningeal layer is going inside, projecting inside, forming these different folds. So these dural folds are essentially made up of meningeal layers. You can see here, means here extensions of meningeal layer. What you see, it contains both the layers tethered here. You can see here how the two cerebellar hemispheres, this is the left cerebellar hemispheres, this side you can see the right cerebellar hemispheres, and you can see how tentorium cerebelli is separating cerebrum from cerebellum. So these are the functions of these dural folds. And coming to the last fold here, you can see here even spinal cord is covered by these all dural folds, and you can see here one structure hanging here, that is pituitary gland. Here you will see the diaphragma sellae covering this pituitary fossa, that is not shown here in the animation. That is the diaphragma sellae. So these are the four folds. Remember again, falx cerebri, falx cerebelli, tentorium cerebelli. This is tentorium separates cerebrum from cerebellum, and here falx cerebelli. Coming to nerve supply, so these dura mater or dural folds in the anterocranial fossa, they are separated by the trigeminal nerve, cervical nerve, vagus nerve. Coming to the blood supply, the anterocranial fossa, this meninges are separated by anterior meningeal vessels, middle cranial fossa by the middle meningeal and exterior meningeal vessels, and posterior cranial fossa by the posterior meningeal vessels, branch of vertebral artery. As you already see, the blood collection outside dura mater is extradural hemorrhage, below it is subdural. So this is about it. Thank you.